Right guys, I'm actually making dinner tonight, and I just thought that I would add a quick video for you today, and that is on how to joint a chicken. The first thing that I do, now I actually learned this from my mum, but this is a lost art, guys. People don't do this anymore. I know from friends' houses and just from the years that I've been cooking, people don't clean their chickens anymore. I'm not quite as bad as my mum was, but my mum used to take absolutely everything off the chicken. If there was a little hair like this on the side, I don't know if you can see that. I'll try and get it into focus. Like that little bit there. She would actually take a match. We had matches in our kitchen just for that purpose, because we didn't actually have gas ovens and gas hobs. We had electric. She would have matches just to burn all the little hairs, all these little hairs and everything would be burnt off the chicken before she made it. I don't do that. I actually just do the bigger bits. But when you start doing cooking at high end, this is something that we do in restaurants, and we make sure that it is prepared properly, and it's a sign of good quality cooking, guys. So it is good to do it, and a good habit to get into. So you'll see that on some parts of the chicken you will get the leftovers. It's just the end shafts, the end of the actual, right at the end of the shaft of the feather, it is left behind in the skin because they're not plucked properly. They're very easy to get rid of. You literally just pull them, grab them between your fingers. You can see there's quite a few here, over here. So I literally just take them and pull them. And then I have a little bowl of water next to me, because it's actually difficult to get it off your fingers. And I literally just rinse my fingers in the water when I want to get them off. Now guys, one of the things that we have to be very, very careful of when we are preparing chicken is cross-contamination. So don't have anything near you or around you that you are going to be potentially eating raw or chopping or anything later. What I do is I almost always have everything separate. I normally make my veggies first and then move on to or chop my veggies first and then move on to the meat, any meat that I'm doing. But if I can't do that, if I have to do it the other way around, because sometimes you do, then I just make sure that the two aren't anywhere near each other. I also have a sink full of water, and my sink full of water is for washing my hands, so that I do not have to touch anything on the way to the sink, and I don't have to touch the taps or anything like that. All I have to do is just rinse my hands, dry them, or wash my hands and dry them, and that's it. I'm going to carry on doing that, and then I'm going to start showing you how to joint the chicken. Right, so I've done that. So now I'm going to show you and talk you through the bits of the chicken that we want to take apart. So jointing a chicken is a useful skill to have. Not only is it going to increase your knife skills, so for your final exam you're going to have a higher knife skill mark, or you can get into those upper levels like a 6, a 7 and an 8. And but it is also very useful to know just purely from a budgeting point of view. Buying a whole chicken is cheaper than just buying breasts, and you can get a lot from one chicken. You can get maybe 2 or 3 meals depending on how big your family is. So I want you to have a look at the chicken. The most expensive part of the chicken is the breast, which are this part over here, and the legs, right, and the wings. And at the back there's the little thighs, all right. And then this is the backbone running down the bottom of the chicken. Now we used to call this the little parson's nose, and when we roast chicken I actually take this, there's a little gland here, I take that off and then roast the chicken. In another video I'm also going to show you just how to spatchcock the chicken, which makes it cook quicker, but this one today is just how to take it apart. Now guys, one thing I do want you to remember before you even attempt to joint your chicken is to have a sharp knife. You do not have to have a boning knife. You don't have to have any fancy knives. In fact, you can use pretty much any knife to joint a chicken. and I have used pretty much any knife to joint a chicken. Have a little selection of your knives next to you in case you find that your bigger knife is not doing it, but I just use it with a normal ordinary chef's knife, and then every now and then if I need to, I'll change to one of the smaller ones. So a chicken will tell you where to joint it. All right, so the legs actually show you there is a band of fat here which you can see under the skin, and that is where we are going to cut it. Here is the breastbone, and that is going to be our guide for when we start doing the breasts, but I'm going to take it one step at a time. So gently just pull the leg away, and you will see there's this little skin over here. Just make a little slice into the skin, and you will see when you do that there is a line of fat running down it. All you do is you put your thumb on that line of fat, and you will feel, just by wiggling your thumb around, that there is a joint there. So what you want to do, I'm going to stop talking so you can hear, is crack it. I don't know if you heard that, but once you've cracked it, you will actually feel that there is a little gap there. One of the things that I say to people all the time is go slow. Guys, especially if you're new at this, because you don't want to be cutting through bone, and that means if you're cutting through bone, if you hit something hard, you're cutting in the wrong place. So crack it first, put your thumb in, and you will feel where it is, and you'll feel where the cartilage is, and that is where you want to go down, and you want to make a cut down, and that is your little leg. Then you want to pull this out slightly and just make a little slice further to get the leg, the thigh, sorry. Now again, you can see where the thigh is joined to the rest of the chicken. You want to take it and you want to pull, and you will see there is a little bone that comes out. Now you want you want as much meat as you can get. Sorry guys, I just have to change my position just a second, hold on. Sorry guys, I just wanted to turn the chicken around because there was something very important that I needed to show you. So if you have a look at the back of the chicken, right, so this is the backbone of the chicken, you will see that there are two little raised bits on either side of the spine, and that is the oyster. Now a lot of times what happens is when people try and take apart their chicken, joint their chicken, they cut here. So they cut across here instead of here, and that means that you actually lose this lovely piece of meat, and I promise you guys, it is one of the best pieces on the chicken. You don't want to lose that. So one of the tips that I do is I make a little cut just between the two. So I'm going just on the spine, make a little cut, right, and then I make a little cut across here, just so that I know that that little cross over there will be where my oysters are. Right, so then I turn it, right, and then where I'd got that bone, right, if you follow that up, you will see that there is a bit of sinew here holding the oyster in place. So just take the tip of your knife and make a little cut through that, right, and then you will see that there's a bone there. So if you then put your finger in there, you will feel that this over here, this here is a bone. So then what I do is I then follow that line of that bone and just make sure that I cut down just with the tip of my knife, and I cut in both directions, and I'm following the bone. The bone is telling me where I should cut that, and I just keep on going down, and wherever you hit a little sinew, just get that with the tip of your knife. Guys, be careful. The tip of my knife is very sharp. And be careful with yours, right? And I take it all the way down, so now you can see that that's almost detached, right? And then I'll show you where the little bone is that I was talking about earlier. So you've got this lovely piece of brown meat, but this is where it comes from, the little bone, right? Then you can turn it around the other way again. I turn it on its side, however it's comfortable for you. And again, guys, this little line of fat over here is going to tell you where to cut it. Make sure that you're cutting between and take as much of the meat as you can. Right, and that is our lovely little thigh with its oyster. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do the other side. I will come back and show you the other side as well, just so that you can see it being done twice. But I'm going to get something for all my pieces so that I can show you how they are laid out at the end. Right guys, so now I'm going to do the other side. And I also just wanted to mention to you, I specifically do not cut that off when I'm doing the thigh, because it is literally all just fat and some skin, so I don't take that off. Now when you're doing the other side, just move your chicken, and remember you're going to just slice through that skin. Sorry, that's my dishwasher. And you're going to pop it, and then you're going to feel, which will always be, there's a little line there, going to go through that. And remember, if you hit something hard, stop and put your knife in again, because you are hitting bone, and we don't want bone, we want to go between. Right, flip it over. Right, I'm just going to cut that skin. And now remember, you want your oyster, and this is the little bone, so you're just going to put your knife in, cut it a little, just to get that sinew. And then you can hear the bone actually. And then you're going to keep going. You're basically just going, following the line. With the point of your knife, shading it down. Right, and then that's loose. Then you want to flip it over again, pop it, and cut it down. Alright, now I like to trim off the fatty pieces, which is just the fat, guys. Alright, and there we have another one, another little thigh with the oyster. Right, now we want to get to the wings. Now the wings are also, they show you where they want to be taken apart. But again, you're going to hold it. I like holding it sideways, but guys, everybody has their own way. Right, and you're just going to, you see this is the breast here, you don't want to cut that. Right, now with this one, you want to go a little bit further than you did with the thigh. Right, and then when you stick your thumb in, you can actually feel where the end of the joint is. You want to go in, and then keep your thumb. Okay. And then pull and keep going down. And then take it off. Right? And then tidy it up. You can tidy it up if you have got any little bits. My dog loves it when I take chicken apart, because he gets all the little bits that I can't use. So now we don't want to damage this. This is our little, well, I call it a little fake leg. All right, but that is the top little part of our wing, middle, and that would be what would be our fingers if we had to compare it. So now the easiest way of taking this apart is this skin here. We're just going to slice it, right? And again, guys, you're going to pop it, and you can see where it comes up. And again, you're going to use your just slice. Get your finger in so that you know where it is, and then cut down. Right, so there we have our the top part of our wing. And then this part, if you were roasting the chicken, you would roast the whole thing. But this, I really when I'm roasting bits of chicken like this, because I'm going to make all the chicken in little bits for my family today, I don't use it. What I do though is I don't throw it away, I use it for gravy. So pop it and you can see where it comes out, and then you're going to be able to see to cut that off, and there you have. You can use the wings for a different meal. This one, remember, I'm going to keep because I'm going to use that for the gravy, and I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side. Right, tells me, I use my thumb a lot to show me where to go. Right, lots of sinews in a chicken, so you just cut down. There you go. Right, so that's the second one off. Cut through the skin. Pop it. Right, can you see where you are? Slice through. And there you have top half of the other wing. Again, to pop it. Down, keep that. That is the lower half of your little wing. Right, so now all that you are left with is the crown. Now, if you wanted to make the best chicken breasts that aren't dry, what you would do now is you would literally just remove the backbone, all right, the spine, and then roast it on the crown, roast it on the bone. Guys, most meats, when you roast them on the bone, are actually better than taking them off the bone. They don't dry out, and the bone actually adds flavor, right? And that is because it adds gelatin to your stew or to the roast chicken or whatever. It adds a lot of flavor. So you can see there is a line there for you to follow for the breast. I just make a little slit all the way down, right, just so that I know that I'm in the center. Right, so now guys, you have to be a little bit more careful, right? And the easiest way of doing this is always to use your fingers as a guide, right? And your fingers will tell you where the bone is that you have to use as your dividing line. So I start, and again with the tip of my knife, and again I'm going right against the bone, and I'm sliding my knife down, and I'm going up, and again sliding my knife. Don't have to do this all in one cut, guys. Now, when I was training, we were told to stick our hands in and actually get the wishbone out. Now the wishbone is here. You can see the start of it is over there. And we had to break it out, but it causes sharp points, guys. So that's why I don't like doing it that way, right? So I just cut it through, and you can actually see that this is the wishbone. Take your knife and just go feel where the wishbone is, and just take the point of your knife, the tip of your knife, and keep going, and you can see there's the bone. So I'm just loosening it from the bone, right, until I get to the bottom. There's another piece of sinew, right, and then you will literally see where that bone is, and you can stick your knife in point again on the other side just to loosen it from that, and then you can carry on taking it off, and you're sort of doing a sliding motion all the time. Right, and now, right, it's actually so tender, guys, that a lot of the times you can actually just take it off with your hands. Right, and you want to go all the way down. Don't cut straight down, because you'll miss the bottom of the chicken breast over here. So keep going down with your knife. Got a little bit of the... Right, and there we go. We're done. turn it over. Oops. Leave that to the side, and then I'll show you. We've got our lovely chicken breast, and we've got the little fillet attached. Now guys, if we were going to be making Kiev, we would take that little fillet off and we'd use it to help us close the Kiev. But now again, what I do is I just clean it up just a little. Any little bits that I don't want, turn it over, and I cut off the fat and this last little bit of skin. Right, and there we have lovely chicken breast. And now I always find this side more difficult. You will always find the same. Whichever is your dominant hand, that one's always easier. But it's nice and clean. I've got that mostly off without losing too much of the breast meat. I'm going to just do that again with my, and remember, I'm going to follow down my, and now because you've already done one side, it's actually easy to just pull that bone out. There's your little wishbone, and then keep going with the tip of your knife. And again, you're doing a sliding motion. So I'm trying to keep the bone out of the way so you can see what my hand is doing. And it's a little bit difficult to do that as well. So keep sliding it down. And just follow the bone, don't cut through the bone. Right, when you get to this stage you can, because then you're onto the board. Right, and I'm almost there. Right, now again, because I'm making gravy tonight, I'm going to use this. I'm going to roast it along with these two little bits that we saved earlier. Or you can just fry it. I cut it up and I fry it in the frying pan. Actually, that's what I do most of the time. But if I'm making stock, I take the whole thing and I just roast it in the oven. Pardon me, but I do wait until I've got about 4 or 5 or 6 of those before I make stock. And what I do with this now is I just throw it into a baggie, throw it in the freezer, and then I just keep freezing and adding them all. And then when I've got 6, I roast them all, and then I make stock, and then I freeze my stock so that I've always got a supply of my own stock. Homemade stock is absolutely wonderful. Again, I don't keep this, guys. This is all just fat. There's no meat there. And you can see you've got a lovely chicken breast with the little the fillet. Now, when you're making it, you can take the sinew out, but don't do it just yet, right? Because it is quite difficult to do it without taking the whole chicken breast apart. Right. There you go. And there you have it, guys. Jointed chicken. And it really, when I'm jointing a chicken and I'm just doing it for myself, it takes me about 10 minutes. So the more you practice, the better you will get at it. So good luck. Let me know how it goes. Take a photo.